Okay. How do I send this? Okay. Okay. I'm just gonna wait till I merge a live with someone. I'm gonna be debating this topic right here. Yo. Alright. I sent the live out. Hopefully he joins. I don't really know how to merge the lives. I honestly might just join his. Yeah, what's up, man? God bless you all. Hope you all prayed today. Keep in touch with the Lord. Gotta know Jesus Christ. And I just gotta wait for this guy to join. I think he probably wants me to join his. I don't know. Yo, I don't know how to do the merging. I don't know how to do none of this. Okay. I'm figuring it out. Okay. Yo. Thanks, man. God bless you, and thanks for the support. TikTok deletes a lot of my content, but like the stuff that do stay up, I'm just trying to dispel all the lies of the devil, and bring the glory to the one true God. Yo, my biggest fans in here. I'm out. Yo, Free Palestine guy, I'm outside right now. I'm soaking in the fresh air. And you still haven't caught me lacking like you claimed. You've been saying you're gonna catch me outside, and I've been waiting. You're one of my biggest fans, Free Palestine. That's all I gotta say. But I think, honestly, I think I might join that guy's live that I'm supposed to debate. So honestly, I might just end this, and then you guys can just, I think it'll probably pop up. So if you want to join it, then it'll pop up in like your notifications. You come to my yo, about Islam, jump in right now. You're watching right now. Come to my live about Islam right here. You're literally viewing it. I see you right there. You're viewing it. Come on the live. And like, you don't even disagree with this, about Islam? You literally just conceded to this in my comments. You just conceded to this. Yo, but yeah, how do I do that? Like, how do I co-host? I don't do this stuff. Oh, I just figured it out. Okay. I figured it out. I sent it. I sent the co-host.
The king. Allah, mashallah. Yalla, at least smile a bit.
Yeah, I'm smiling. I haven't done a live in a while, so.
Uh-huh. Okay, so you want to speak about shisme, harm. What is harm according to the Islamic scholars, or just child?
I can, like, I'll just straight up say, like, I can concede to the fact that maybe it's not just a fitzla, but I can show
It's
that.
maybe not what? Sorry, what was that?
I don't know if you're keeping up, because like I caught you from About Islam's comments. So we're discussing what harm Islamically shows, and I'm saying basically my assertion is that what modern scholars and modern scientists view as harm isn't the same as what Islamic scholars viewed as harm. So when the Islamic scholars say no harm, it wouldn't equate to the modern discoveries of prepubescent sex, like harm that comes from that wouldn't equate to the harm that we see in Islamic literature. So like when we see About Islam cited some fatwas about harm being basically, and he tried to assert that it was any pain. I have my disagreements with that, but even if I steelman that point that it is any harm or any pain, the view of pain and harm is completely different in Islamic literature than what we have in modern medicine, due to the fact that many scholars assert that the age, they call it the age of pleasure, or other ages that would allow them to consummate a marriage, can happen before the age of 9. And I don't even think a 9-year-old can have intercourse without harm. And I have many studies that show, psychological studies, biological studies, and
Hmm.
just all around medical studies that show no one under the age of 9 can have intercourse without harm, but the Islamic scholars assert that that is possible. So therefore, the Islamic harm is different than modern biology or sociological harm.
So, okay, I understand. So you're saying that Islamic scholars, when they come with the age of 9, they say the age of 9 they can do, the entering upon, right? And
Yes.
you know some of the sources that do say that.
Yeah, like some of them they say either
But
9, and then others say other things.
okay, now let me show you something. Let me show you something very, very interesting, right? Actually, give me 1 second. So, when it comes to the age of 9, Ibn Qudama actually he quotes a great scholar. He quotes what? A great scholar. The great scholar is Al-Qadi, and Al-Qadi is a great scholar of the Hanbali madhab. So let's see what Al-Qadi says. Can be found in Ibn Qudama's book, Kitab al-Mughni, Ibn Qudama, volume 10, page 169. You scroll down here. He says here, loud and clear, he says it loud and clear, what? And this from me, when he's speaking about the age of 9, right?
Yeah.
And this from me is not specific. The reason why they state this age, right, that it's 9, is because they believe that the age of 9 they can do intercourse. Correct? That's what we said.
Yeah, they can bear the harm of intercourse.
Uh-huh. And then he explained what they meant. He says, and when they cannot do intercourse, right? When they cannot. Here, I even translated. Maybe people are not believing me when I'm
No, I'll,
translating.
I'll, I'll, I'll take your translations at face value.
Okay. And when she is not fit for intercourse, right? لم يجب. It is not needed for her family to give
Yeah,
her
yeah, I've read a
to.
bunch of sources like that already. Like now he says in Sarah Muslim, I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right, but Sarah Muslim, he says that if you cannot consummate a marriage due to being too small, then the husband does not have to pay, and the family does not give the daughter to the husband, even if he's trustworthy, like things like that.
Exactly, mashallah. Okay, nice. So what's your question now?
Well, like that's my issue. Like my issue is like the first off, just the general consensus that like a 9-year-old after 9 they can have intercourse without harm. I
But
strongly
then I just
disagree
showed
with that
you.
fact.
Yeah, but I just showed you that what they mean by 9. They just believe it. For example, the age. If I were to say, okay, at the age of 18, you can now do intercourse. Okay, now what if there's a person who's 18 and still not ready for intercourse? Let's
Yeah,
say
but
that
that's the
they are
minority
what?
though. That would be the exception to the rule. You wouldn't
And
set
that's
a
what we
rule.
believe. Though. That's what
Yeah,
they believe.
yeah, but that implies that they believe that for the majority cases after 9 it's possible, because you set rules for the majority, not the minority. We set the age of like, for example, in the West it's at 16 to 18 because that's when most girls or boys finish school. But like some people don't finish school until they're 25. But that's an exception, not the rule. Most people are out of high school by 16 to 18. That's the general. That's why they set it at 18, to get the most amount of people, to affect the most amount of people. I don't see why would they set a rule for the exception. They'd be like, oh, it's 9. And even if I don't agree that any 9-year-olds would have the cognitive ability to have intercourse without harm to their mental state. And even if, and like we can't predict mental harm happening. It's like over 200% chance that a child that engages in sexual acts with someone their own age, let alone an older adult man, to see mental repercussions from that, meaning that it wouldn't logically follow that it's acceptable to kind of set the age at 9. That's kind of what I'm trying to get at there.
So you're saying it's illogical to say that it's at 9.
Yeah.
Okay. And can you bring your sources?
Yeah, I'll bring some up right now. What kind of, like, you want, like, infant mortality rates for young age mothers, like getting pregnant at the age of 9, 10, 11, or 12? Because, like, I can bring that up right here.
What was that?
Do you want, like, because, like, I have infant mortality rates, how it's you're more likely to die giving childbirth if you are getting pregnant at the ages of 9, 10, 11. Also, I have, what else? What's this study? Also, just how likely are you actually, yeah, more infant mortality from childbirth and bearing children at the ages of 10 to 12 and under. I
Okay.
I have
Uh-huh.
many studies, and I'm kind of
Okay.
saddened that I have to explain that it's kind of not good to have sex with 9-year-olds. I thought that would be kind of like a consensus.
Okay. Now you are bringing up when we're speaking about a child. Now, what I'm gonna ask you a very simple question. What's a child for you?
Child, someone who has not completed puberty.
Someone that has not completed puberty, even if
Yeah.
they were physically and mentally mature, but they haven't menstruated. Correct? If
Well,
they are still a child.
menstruation comes in the later stages of puberty, even if you're mentally, like, define mentally mature, because mentally mature, like, that's a spectrum.
You
It's not
are
like a black and
aware.
white thing.
As Aisha radiallahu anha was, she stated himself, when you are aware, for example, why does a child, if a child were to unalive someone by accident, but they don't
Yeah,
know of
because
their action, they don't know what their
yeah, because
action
they're not
is.
aware.
They exactly. A
Yeah,
child, they mentally matures when you are aware of your action. That's why a child doesn't go to prison
yeah.
when they unalive
I
someone by accident.
black and white issue, because self-awareness, again, is a spectrum. You gain more self-awareness throughout your lifetime. So that's another scale that it's baseless. It's You can't really say there's a certain age, but we know for a fact that if not all 9-year-old girls do not have the cognitive ability to have intercourse with grown men. That's basically what I'm trying to say.
Okay.
That comes
What
after
if I
puberty,
show you
once you
people?
fully sexually develop.
Uh-huh. Okay, what if I show you? What
That'd
if
be
I show you
exceptions to
people
the rule.
literally stating? Yeah, what if I show you people that are literally
What?
stating that they have seen 9-year-olds hit menstruation, hit puberty?
No, yeah, that's fine. That's fine, but that's still not
Of
completing
course,
puberty.
in the
Once
past.
you That's the later stages. Menarche is the later stages of puberty, but the final stages, the final couple stages, is your hips widening, your breast fully developing, and your breasts actually don't fully develop until after puberty. But I'm mostly talking about the first stage of breast development, which
No, no,
happens.
your breasts are developed during puberty. What are you saying?
Yeah, no, but they're not even fully developed until you actually get pregnant, But when they fully develop, when they actually fully form before pregnancy, obviously, then that is what I'm speaking about when I say finish puberty. When they are physically developed, in a sense that their hips are widened, they can bear children, and then they, like, since they've gone through the years, they would most likely be able to understand the ramifications of sex. But 9-year-olds, it's a very rare occasion to have busty 9-year-olds. That's all I'm saying.
Okay, okay. Do you want me to respond to that?
Yes.
Okay. So, first of all, let me show you something real quick. One of the statements, I'm assuming you probably know this too, in Sahih Muslim 1422, Imam al-Nawawi, may Allah have mercy on his soul, he said, and Malik and Shafi'i, Imam Shafi'i, and Imam Abu Hanifa said the limits that she should be able to endure sexual intercourse, and this
Yeah, but
varies, right? This
yeah,
varies depending on each woman, and
yeah.
it is not determined by age. You're right. by a specific age, right? And of course, Imam Nawawi said it specifically that it's a correct opinion.
Yeah,
Now,
I in that source, he
one
actually
second.
says later that you can have at under 9. If you show the full source, he says under 9. Some is
Actually,
possible
actually,
after 9.
actually, 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 he's stating the opinions. And one of the
Yeah,
opinions you mentioned, which I already explained to you, which it's not under 9. He said at the age of 9. Not a single
I can.
scholar says under
Yeah,
9.
I'll show you. I'll show you. I'll show you.
Show me.
I'll show
Show
you.
me the Arabic too.
I have the Arabic as well. It's literally that
Go
source. What source was that again? It was Sarha Muslim.
It's Sahih Muslim 1422b. If you're in Sunnah.com, it would be 1422b, but in the book, it would be 1422, and then, you know.
One chemical 46. Okay, I have a couple because like I have a bunch of sources here. This guy, he's citing other people's opinion. It's from Sarha Sahih Bukhari. Ibn, how do I flip my camera here? Okay.
I think you click on more.
Yeah, I just gotta turn off my.
Yeah, turn off that. Is it Ibn Battal?
Yeah, but
Are you sure? Oh, it's Ibn Battal. Okay, show me where you
he's
said
not
that.
reliable because like he's just reporting the opinion of Malik and Safi.
Okay.
How do I shut this off? Effects clear. Yeah, so Batal here.
Oh, I know this.
I have the
Okay,
Arabic.
let's read it together. Let's read it together. Okay, can you zoom in?
Well, like I don't know. My app, this tablet's kind of like it's cheap.
Yeah, that's perfect. That's perfect. Scroll down to where. Okay, can I read it?
Yeah, here.
Here. Okay, where is it? Which one?
So yeah, Al Safi says like if she's approaching puberty, it is permitted to consummate with her if she's bulky, if she's able to withstand sex.
Where did it say withstand though?
Well, it says like that's the qualification for consummation. So I'm
No,
just
no, 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 no,
logically
no. Now,
applying.
now you're adding words into a
No,
statement,
I'm just
right?
no, I'm
Actually,
no. That's
wait,
an
pause, pause, pause.
that's an
Actually,
exegesis. Let me explain why I'm saying because many times you would
hmm,
agree that the scholarly consensus is if they can endure sexual intercourse. Am I correct?
do you know what they mean by that though?
Yeah, he says it here. If she's approaching puberty and is bulky and she's able to have sex, so like how would she be able to have sex if she's able to endure it, right?
Okay, but what does that mean? Can you explain to me?
It would be not being harmed by the penis inserting into her.
Okay, let's not say those words because we might get the
Okay,
live
it would
bananas.
be her.
But
She would not be
mhm.
harmed by the penetration of the act of the marital act,
Okay. And what about later on?
like during pregnancy or
No, no, I'm saying later on, maybe after they're done. What
I,
do you explain? Can you explain what he means by that when it's about later on too? Or do you need
after
me
if
to
she's
explain it
unable
for
to
you?
have that's a different context here when he's
That's
speaking
not a
about
different context.
yeah if
They're
she's
speaking
unable
about
to
it
have
in
sex.
general.
No, first he says if she is approaching puberty and she's able to have sex. So if she's not pubescent, if she's approaching it, when I'm approaching a wall, I'm not at that wall yet. So if puberty
Mm-hmm.
is the wall, you're approaching the wall, you're not at puberty yet. They haven't been pubescent yet, prepubescent. You are able, and she's able. Safi here is asserting that they are able to have sex and is bulky. He's just adding that as a characteristic.
Mm-hmm. Okay. But you still didn't explain. Okay, okay. Can you fully explain what it means to have no harm? Go ahead.
Well, it depends on what school of Sunni jurisprudence you want to go
It
with. But
really
most of it
doesn't.
is it kind of because like some cite different levels of harm. There's different levels of harm, and but
Mm-hmm.
they all have an agreement that before puberty, a girl might be able to have intercourse without that harm being done. So I'm asking you because like I'm not the Muslim, so I'm asking you what is that harm and why is it allowing for children to have sex. When I think of intercourse, I think no child would be able to endure that without harm. But why are these scholars saying that it is basically here? He says that it is possible if she's approaching puberty to be able to have intercourse, and her husband is able to is permitted to consummate the marriage with her. If it was never to happen, if it was to never consummate marriage with prepubescent girls, then this wouldn't be a ruling.
Okay, great. Perfect. Now we're going to go back to one of the statements I brought earlier to
All right.
understand and explain to
Okay.
you why your understanding is completely wrong. Now I'm going to ask you a simple question. Okay. It says here, Imam Malik, and Imam Shafi'i, and Imam Abu Hanifa, all of these scholars, they said that it differs. How does it differ? Based on how they're built. Correct? And you
Yeah.
agree. You
Yeah.
agree.
So like, just like
Right?
Safi says, like if she's built bulky, like if she's kind of like
Do you
big.
do you know? No. Wait. Pause. Do you know what they mean? And firstly, they need to be near puberty, right? They can't just
Yeah.
be
Near
bulky and
puberty.
then
Yeah. Near
boom, you can
puberty
do it.
isn't at
No, that's
puberty.
wrong.
Near puberty isn't at puberty. Like that's my issue here.
Wait. Pause. Can you go back to the thing you just brought?
Yeah.
Uh huh.
He says approaching puberty.
Do you know what that means?
The Arabic here.
The Arabic. Okay, go to the Arabic. Let me read the Arabic.
Actually.
Here, I'll explain. Firstly, it says when al-bulugh. This is literally saying approaching the near of puberty. Not
Yeah.
when
Not
it
at,
says that they are, no, when they say that they have, for example, if a scholar says that they have hit puberty, that means they have matured. This is what Imam Shafi is saying, that they have completed or have been near the end of puberty. That's what they mean. Now, wait, pause. Another thing you mentioned, right, is that they can enter. You just mentioned that the harm is if they were entered, right?
well,
If they were,
not just if they were entered. Like you can, like you could. Oh, I
Mhm.
gotta explain. You could sexually traumatize a child in many ways, and I was gonna get into that next because I was gonna show modern fatwas that say like if she is unable to consummate the marriage, you can fondle her and like things that I don't want to repeat. Like you can do things that
Okay,
I wouldn't even repeat.
beautiful. So if the child is scared, if this quote unquote child, which is already has mentally matured and physically matured, but has not hit menstruation, let's say that, okay? If they're scared, what do the scholars say about that matter?
No, it doesn't matter. You can be. You realize
If I'm
children.
asking this,
You
I'm asking a
No,
simple
because
question. If the
that's a simple.
child is
I'm not saying the
scared,
child is scared. The child doesn't have to be scared to have trauma done to her or him, because this also applies to boys too. Um, you can like children can willingly want to do something, but since they don't have the full aspect of their brain developed that lets them cognitively process long-term effects of actions, they can be willing to do something and then completely receive trauma from that. You can see that with a myriad of things. I'm sure you live in a Western country, don't you? You can see
no,
kids.
I don't.
You know, okay, well, you probably hear of the degeneracy that goes on since secularism has taken over with kids
Yeah.
doing illicit drugs. They are fully, oh, they are consenting to the taking of the drugs. Yeah, I'll just flip the camera. My thing just shut off. But they are consenting to the taking of the drugs. They're consenting to the act, but they don't understand the ramifications of, say, like psychedelics. And then they get traumatized by taking a tab of LSD. And I've seen this myself because I grew up atheist. I grew up secular. I see kids wanting, even me myself, I've been messed up by my own actions that me as a child have willingly wanted to do. Like, for example, pornography. I've willingly watched it as an atheist, and before I came to God, as a child, as a 9-year-old boy, I was exposed to it, and the ramifications still affect me to this day. But I chose to do that. So that's what I'm trying to get at. Children, they like there's a concept in Islam of children giving consent that is completely lost to me due to the fact that
Mhm.
children can't fully consent, especially to sexual acts. That's basically like what I'm trying to get at, and it gets to my core because I work with children. I work with children in the inner city, and I see them making these decisions that they don't fully understand. So I don't understand how religious law that's supposed to be given by God can get to these conclusions that children can consent.
Okay. Firstly, okay, wait. Okay, I understand. So your whole point is that it's just mental maturity.
Well, it's not because like there's also physical maturity, like, but like yeah, we can focus on the mental aspect just now because like there's the whole aspect is off. I believe with the Islamic rating of maturity, I believe they greatly underestimate physical and mental maturity, but we can focus on the mental part.
Okay, now Imam al-Nawawi, when the same book that you brought actually, he said that the father and of course the husband, okay, should firstly they should agree upon something that will not harm her. Secondly, my second point is that person, that quote unquote child, which I'll call only a child because you believe so, right? You do know that Ibn Battal, may Allah have mercy on his soul, he says, actually, here, he says in Kitab Sharh Sahih al-Bukhari, Ibn Battal, volume 7, page 172. He says that the scholars have agreed that it's okay for you to marry a child. For their fathers to marry off their child, even if they were in the cradle. But they have also agreed that they cannot go
Yeah,
to them.
I actually have that. I have that source too.
Okay, can I finish it though?
Yeah,
Okay.
it says that
They cannot, no, wrong. They cannot even go. They cannot live. They cannot live with
how
that man.
that's not like the dunk. So like wow, you can't live with your daughter.
One
Like I
second,
mean, you can't live with your wife
one
that's
second,
in the cradle.
just 1 second. I'm not done though. I'm not done. Okay, that they cannot live with them until they are sustainable. 1 second, listen, wait, for intercourse, and they can handle a man. And then he says that it depends on how they're built and their mental capacity, right? So now I'm gonna ask you a simple question. If the child, the quote unquote child, which they are a child before they go to the man, right? They need to firstly be sustained. They need to be able to sustain, intercourse and no, not a handle man, handle a man in intercourse. No, handle a man as in being a normal wife or whatever, right? And then he later on stated that it depends on how they're built, on their strength, and how they are mentally. Okay,
I
so
have a
this
question.
is what. Can you please explain that too?
Well, what am I? Because like I'm just gonna ask a question. Can a 9-year-old or a girl 7 or 8 meet that requirement?
Yes.
That's my issue. That's my issue.
Oh, you
That's
want
my
me to bring you? Do you really want me to bring you some statements from great scholars of the past on how they saw children hitting puberty?
That's irrelevant because like is this
It is
not
relevant
applicable
actually.
today?
It is
Is
relevant though.
does this law not stand today?
What law?
Does this ruling, this jurisprudence
Exactly.
is
I agree with you. It stands today.
okay?
Now, pause. Wait, pause. Now, relax. Now we have agreed that if it was in the past, there's no issue with it, right?
No, I have my refutations for that, but I
Okay,
will
then can you
steel
refute it?
I will
If it
steel
was in
man
the past.
I will
Okay, go ahead.
steel man that if it was in the past, because like I also have scholars that cite other things about child marriage, and I also have other sources that condemn child marriage throughout the first, second, third, fourth. I can show these things, but I will
Mhm.
steel man that in the past kids matured like Superman. By the age of 13, boys were like basically 25-year-old men today. I can steel man that
I
point,
completely
but
agree,
it's
yeah.
the fact that these laws still stand today. There's no room for reforming in Islam, which is what
Okay, great.
is the issue.
Great. Now, let me just say something really quickly and bring out
Okay,
something
I'm
really
gonna start my
quickly.
car. It might be a bit loud because I need to charge my phone.
It's fine, it's fine. Okay. So, 1 second. Okay. Now we have two things. We have and we have a view or like a report from Imam al-Shafi'i, may Allah have mercy
And like
on
I
his
also have
soul.
another Al Qadi. So Al Qadi Ibn
Al-Qadi, al-Qadi.
Qadamah. In here, I'll just quickly
Yeah.
show this. Ibn Qadamah in this source. I'm not even gonna try to
Mm-hmm.
butcher it.
Mm-hmm.
So he asserts that usually puberty happens at age 9. I mean 15. That's what he asserts. He says just as puberty usually occurs at the age of 15 does not mean it cannot occur before that. He says it usually happens at 15, and he says that the age of 9, not the age, oh, I can't speak. The age of 9 years being an age where pleasure is usually possible does not mean pleasure cannot be met younger or before 9. So that's my main gripe here, and that's a lot of people's main gripe. Like,
Okay. Okay.
if
Now,
you were to, and like the thing is, I've been called an Islamophobe for saying this. I've been called Islamophobic for saying that Islam lets you marry 9-year-olds. So like, I don't understand where the disconnect. Oh no! Could you guys hear me that whole time? Could
what?
you guys hear me that whole time?
Yeah,
Cause
we can
like,
hear you. We can hear you.
okay, you can hear me. Okay, but yeah, like that's like my main
What?
gripe
Yeah,
here.
yeah, we heard you the whole time.
Like my main gripe
Okay. Okay, good.
is that I've been lied to by Muslims all in the West that deny these, and I'm trying to understand why it's kind of hidden in the evangelism of Muslims. Why this isn't the main thing you guys kind of talk about.
Okay. I wanted to say something, but for some reason, maybe you didn't hear. Maybe you didn't hear me speaking, but I was
Yeah, no,
speaking in
I
the
put
this type of this.
my charger is an aux cord too, and then like I didn't have my radio on, so then it wasn't playing. So like that's my bad. You can repeat what you're gonna say because like that's my bad. I plugged my
Okay,
thing in and
I was gonna say, Imam Shafi'i, he recorded some views what he saw about the children during his time, and he said the earliest I have heard woman menstruating is of the woman of Tihama, who menstruate at the age of 9 years. Okay, and then you have another scholar, Umayr bin wait, no. Um, Abad al-Muhallabi, he says, among us, there was, to be honest, I don't really know how to say this because it's in English, but let's say Al-Dhubi, who narrated, oh no, oh my goodness. Among us, there was a woman who became a grandmother at the age of 18. She had given birth to a daughter at the age of 9. And her daughter also gave birth at the age of 9. Now,
it's not.
first of all, he didn't mention any harm about them. He didn't mention them having harm. And I agree with you
But
that we have
that's
changed.
because
I
one of
completely agree. We've changed. And this is this has changed. You don't see this anymore. You don't see a grandmother that's 18 years old.
yeah,
I
that's because we
completely agree
progressed
with
as
you.
a
Now
society
you
to protect 9-year-olds. We don't marry 9-year-olds off to have them give children because we understand that one, their hips aren't wide enough. They have a high. There's a reason why infant mortality rate was so high back when 9-year-olds were getting married because the baby had a higher chance of dying and the mother. So we see this now with medical science in the progression in technology that 9-year-olds probably shouldn't be getting pregnant because it not only doesn't mess up their mental state, it also can physically kill them. It can end their life. So it's just not a risk that we should take. We should protect children, not marry them off.
uh-huh. Okay, and let me I was gonna continue, but I'm not gonna lie. I'm not trying to be
I want to
disrespectful or
address
anything, but
I want to address
bro, just let
the
me
first source
speak
too
for
that you
one
have.
second, bro. You've
I,
been you've been speaking
you're
over
rattling off.
me
You're
for like
rattling
10
off sources.
times.
You're rattling off
I'm
sources
not
though.
rattling off.
Source.
It's just that you don't like my answer.
No, go to the first source. Go to the first source that you gave. It says that
Uh-huh.
the lowest age that they see is 9 years old. And I just gave a source that says that it usually occurs at 15. So that would just mean that they usually hit it at 15, but the lowest is 9. And then citing an anecdotal source that says that he saw an 18-year-old, that's anecdotal evidence.
The thing is, I never disagreed that the age of 9 is when you can. Earlier than that, no, you're not allowed to, right? At the age of 9, yes, you can, but that depends on various factors. And I said multiple times, I quoted Al-Qadi, the same scholar you used, He explained what it means to be about the age of 9. He said the reason why they quoted the age of 9 was literally because they thought, or they believed, from what they saw, and I showed you one of them, right? Imam al-Shafi'i and other scholars, right? They believed that the age of 9 is the age in which you should have hit puberty or should have been ready, right? But then Al-Qadi said that he explained it. And then he said if they were not ready for puberty, meaning what does that mean? Like if we go back to what let me give me 1 second, to what Ibn Battal said. He said they need to get ready. What does it mean to be ready for intercourse? It means they need to be sustainable. They need to sustain it, and they need to handle a man. And then he furthermore states that it depends on how they're built and their mental capacity. Right?
Yeah,
This is
you,
what
you
it
already
depends
agreed.
on.
Like you already agreed
Exactly.
that a 9-year-old or an 8-year-old, they can meet that, right?
What was that?
An 8-year-old or a 9-year-old, they can meet that requirement. 7, 8,
A
or 9.
9-year-old
That requirement.
no, they cannot meet. An 8-year-old cannot. A 9-year-old may be able to.
So a
But of
9-year-old.
today, that's a very rare scenario.
So if a man were to do it today, would you condemn him for it?
Would I condemn a man for doing? Okay, wait. Why would you condemn it? That's my question.
Because the mental capacity of that woman is
I
not
told
there.
you they
No
need to
matter
be
how
ready
much.
mentally, and it's based on their build. Why are you speaking about
Yeah,
mental
no,
capacity? I brought you Ibn Battal speaking
no,
about it.
because
Can you not choose mental capacity?
because how I define mentally ready is different than how Batal defines mentally ready. That's what I'm saying. We don't agree.
Mhm.
He thinks that a 9-year-old can be mentally ready. I'm saying no, a 9-year-old cannot. A 9-year-old cannot mentally be ready. Just because she was he saw an 18-year-old
Okay,
grandmother.
wait.
That's
Pause. You
anecdotal
said a
evidence.
9-year-old isn't mentally ready.
Yes.
Beautiful. Then it's not the age of 9.
That's my
I,
interpretation of Islam though. Like that's
beautiful.
if I were to take my shahada, and that's the issue here. Anyone can go along and then easily justify pedophilia. How do you not see this? That's my argument. You're making it for
Okay.
me. You're agreeing right
Uh
now.
huh.
So,
Uh huh.
maybe me. I think a 9-year-old can't. But if Johnny down the street thinks a 6-year-old can, then he can use Islamic sources to say I can marry a 6-year-old. That's the
Okay,
issue.
beautiful.
That's the
Now,
very issue.
in the past, was it normal, and it was normal for 9-year-olds in the
It
past,
wasn't
correct?
normal. It was not normal for consummation. It was never normal for consummation
Okay, is
until
it normal?
puberty.
Okay,
It was
they
normal at
literally just
12.
showed a 9-year-old hitting puberty. I showed you scholars in the past, maybe like
It,
what?
that's
What?
anecdotal. That's anecdotal. Do you know what anecdotal evidence is? Like if I
I
write
mean,
down, oh, I saw my neighbor, he hit puberty at age 7 and he got super big. So that doesn't now apply to the general because I already showed you Qadi saying that it usually happens at 15. I can cite Aquinas in the Summa Theologica. A lot of Muslims try to use this against me, but Aquinas directly says that betrothal shouldn't happen before puberty.
wait,
Aquinas
did you just quote Thomas Aquinas?
Yeah, Aquinas, he says the betrothal shouldn't happen before they can consent, and consent can usually happen during puberty, when they hit puberty, and he cites that as 12. And then he cites that you can have prepubescent consummation if the two parties are prepubescent. So he's not co-signing a 50-year-old man sleeping with a 6-year-old or a 9-year-old, sorry.
Okay, first of all, you okay? Wait. Okay, I understand what you've been stating,
I just
and
want
I
to judge this guy in
understood
the
it.
comments because
I
like
always
he's
understood
the
what
guy
you're
that
stating.
quoted it. I,
What?
I'm just gonna address this guy in the comments. He's saying that Aquinas allowed it at 7. That was under specific circumstances that he said was a minority. I can pull up the full thing. Honestly, yeah, just
We
continue.
will speak about
Just
that later.
continue.
I will speak to you about Christianity based on Christianity too. But right now we're speaking about Islam, and then later we're going to speak about Christianity. Okay.
I just brought up
Now,
the site that someone before these, like, someone
bro,
in
we
the
don't care
past.
about Aquinas right now. We don't care about him right now. Okay. What we care about is Islam. I quoted you scholars saying if they're not mentally ready, nor are they physically ready, right? Then they are not even allowed to go to that man's house. Now, based on what I've showed you on what physical pain or physical harm is according to the scholars, right? One of the reasons, and I know for a fact, and you cannot deny this, that you disagree with with quote unquote, actually no, I'm using the wrong words. The reason why you disagree with a man and a 9-year old doing it is because you believe that that 9-year old is super small and weak, correct?
Not even just. I just believe that 9-year-old doesn't have the cognitive ability to actually understand the long-term ramifications of sleeping with a
So you're
grown man.
speaking about mental capacity.
Yes.
And what the hell did I just show you?
That's the thing. We define mental capacity differently. All the scholars of Islam think that that they are mentally ready at 9, 10, 11, or even 7, 8, not like I can show you scholars. They all agree that
No
they are
scholar
mentally
has
ready.
ever said that no scholar out of
They
all of the
give the
views,
age of
and
9.
I have
Why? Why do
studied
they
these
give the
views,
age of 9? Why do they give the age of 9 though? If
because
it's
this is
not,
the
if they're not
age.
mentally ready.
Firstly, it was because this is the age in the past where they viewed children to hit puberty at. Secondly,
And be
is
mentally
because
ready.
Aisha radiallahu anha has consummated the marriage when she was 9.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. So they believe that a 9-year-old can be mentally ready. I'm saying
When did
that
they
is not.
do, what did bro, what am I saying the whole time? Every time I speak, my words are not even going
You're
into your ears.
equivocating.
I spoke to, okay, wait. What does it mean to handle a man?
Be able to do the wifely duties, which isn't that hard. Cooking and cleaning. A 9-year-old can cook and
Is
clean.
that
That
physical
doesn't mean
or
they're
is it
mentally
mental?
ready.
Is it physical or is it mental?
That's it can either be physical because like if you're too small to like actually clean stuff, or it can be mental. But I'm saying they do not have the same
Pause,
standard.
pause, pause, pause. You said, and it can be mental. Okay.
Yeah,
Now, if handling a man were to be mental, and they said that it depends, it needs to be sustained. They need to be able to sustain intercourse and handle a man. Now, when they are able to mentally handle a man, okay, if a woman is unable to mentally handle a man, do you think that they are ready for intercourse? Yes or no?
no. Just because you can mentally handle a
I
man doesn't mean you can mentally
I said if they
handle.
are unable to mentally handle a man.
Oh, unable. Yeah, of course. Then they can't handle intercourse.
And if they are,
And if they can mentally handle a man, they still that doesn't that's not proof that they can mentally handle intercourse. Just because
beautiful.
you can
Okay,
cook and
okay,
clean.
good. Now I'm gonna ask you a very simple question, and this is where you're gonna get cornered. Now, notice, by the way, we're not debating; we're just discussing. Okay, and so you said that if they can mentally handle a man, okay. First, do you think a 9-year-old today can mentally handle a man?
Depends on the like define. I'll get define mentally handling a man because when I think of that, I think cooking and cleaning. I do think a nine
For
year old would
example,
be able to cook and clean.
okay, for example, they can mentally handle the fact they might argue over stuff. They might dislike each other. They might like each other. They might maybe she's since she's the wife or he. Okay, they might be forced
Like
to do things they don't
to like
like. They have
develop a
to be
relationship.
aware. They have to wait 1 second. Firstly, they have to be aware that they're with the husband. They have to be aware of it because how can you handle a man without being mentally aware that you are handling a man? That's one thing. The second thing is that they are mentally aware of their tasks. Okay, this is what I've been saying multiple times.
Yeah,
Okay, and I hope this
a
went through
nine year
your
old is
ears.
cognitively aware. They're a 9-year old self aware. Again, like
Or
I
do you
do
just
soccer
say
coach.
pause? You're saying some okay. Okay, did you just say a 9-year-old that has not hit puberty and that's not mentally mature or physically mature is
Yes,
cognitively
they're
aware,
cognitively.
as
I
in they're
deal with
self-aware?
children. I've literally worked with children for like 5 years of my life. I was a camp
I
counselor.
dare you find me a single source where it says someone
Is
who is
self-aware?
not ready for intercourse and is basically like a child is self-aware. Go ahead.
No, that
Self-aware
that's
of their
irrelevant.
actions.
I'm steel manning you. You can't do that. I'll steel man you that you cannot bang a little girl that is not cognitively aware. But I'm saying a 9-year-old is capable.
MashaAllah. MashaAllah. So you have agreed, you have proven
No,
that I'm
I'm
right
steel
in one
manning you.
matter.
I'm steel manning you.
Now let's
I'm steel
continue.
manning you. I'm saying for the time being, I will put that argument to the side and I will address the
Mm-hmm.
fact that a 9-year-old they can be cognitively aware. They can develop relationships. They can feel emotions. They can have disagreements. Children aren't just blobs. 9-year-old girls and boys can both be cognitively aware, but that doesn't now equate to them being ready for intercourse. Just because they are cognitively aware and can do simple tasks like cooking, cleaning, developing relationships, and those are some of the first things all humans do. So that doesn't equate to
Okay.
them now being ready for sexual intercourse.
Uh-huh. Perfect. 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 So your whole argument is that because they're self-aware, okay, because they're self-aware and they need to mentally be, like I said, mentally be aware of their actions, and which allows us to get consent. That's first thing, okay? Being
I don't think
self-aware.
I don't
If
think
someone's
just
self-aware, they're not
self-awareness
allowed
is
to
enough
get
for consent.
consent.
Self-awareness isn't enough for consent.
Self-awareness is not enough for consent.
Because self-awareness is a spectrum. Again, self-awareness, it's not one day you're not self-aware and then the next day you're fully self-aware. Self-awareness is a spectrum that comes with age and experience. So just because
Uh-huh.
someone is self-aware, that doesn't mean they're self-aware enough to understand the ramifications of a decision to give consent for it. That's why we don't let kids get something like tattoos per se, because they're not able to fully understand the ramifications of tattoos.
Okay, now let's read the source. Let's read the source, right? You can ask me for another source if you want. Self-awareness is the ability to focus on yourself and how your actions, thought, or emotions or do or don't align with your internal standards. If you're highly self-aware, you can objectively evaluate yourself. Can a child objectively evaluate themselves? Manage your emotions. Can a child manage their emotions? Align your behavior with your values. Can a child
Now you're
align
equivocating. Now
their
you're
behaviors with
equivocating.
their values?
Now
And
you're
understand
equivocating.
correctly how others perceive
Now you're
you.
equivocating.
Can
Now
a
you're
child do that?
equivocating. Now you're equivocating
How?
because show
How?
how the
How?
Islamic. I'm explaining. I'm just explaining. You don't need
Go
to yell
ahead.
how. You're equivocating due to the fact that you're asserting that that is now the Islamic standard of maturity and self-awareness. Show that that source that you just cited has the same Islamic standards as the Islamic scholars. As we would know,
Okay, great.
grown adults, let me speak, grown adults can't even manage their emotions properly. So does that mean that they can now not consummate a marriage? That's clearly not, because what is managing your emotions? Define managing your emotions.
What was that?
Define managing your emotions, because I'll show
Firstly, it
that.
says highly self-aware.
Yeah, highly
Not
self.
self-aware normally.
Okay, so
Highly self-aware
yeah,
is when
so
you can manage your emotions.
yeah,
When you can manage your emotions.
so
Highly.
Islamically, so
It's not normal
Islamically,
being self-aware normally.
so Islamically is the standard being highly self-aware to consummate. Is that the standard?
You need to be self-aware. You
Okay,
need to be self-aware.
so it's not highly self-aware. You just need to be self-aware. It's a spectrum. You agree, right? So where on that self-awareness spectrum does consummation fall?
Okay, we will go through that right now. Okay, when it says handle a man, let's get into the mental understanding. Let's get into what it means mentally. What can you be self-aware? Okay, can you handle a man without being self-aware?
No.
MashaAllah! MashaAllah! Kaffa عليك.
Yeah, but
Bravo.
the thing is,
Bravo, man.
you realize
Bravo.
6-year-olds are
Bravo.
self-aware. You realize
Uh-huh.
6-year-olds are self-aware.
No, they're not.
Yes, they
They're
are.
not self-aware.
You
Do you
don't.
think they're self-aware of their actions? They
Yes.
know
You know
everything.
what
They understand
self-awareness
their
are? They're not
actions.
fully self-aware. They're not fully self-aware, and they're not highly self-aware, but they are aware of their self. Do you know what self-awareness is? Cats are
Yes,
self-aware.
self-aware.
Cats are
You need to,
self-aware.
you understand.
Cats are
You understand
self-aware.
your actions.
Cats are self-aware. You realize that. Even cats are self-aware. You
Oh
realize that.
my. Bro, when we say self, okay, wait, are you saying a child who has no idea on what they're doing, but there's let's say quote unquote
6-year-olds have
self-aware.
ideas on what they're doing. Are
You're
you
saying
under?
a,
You're
wait,
you're
are you saying a
overestimating how
6-year-old
stupid kids
has
are.
the idea on how to cook, clean, handle a man?
Yes, an 8-year-old, a 9-year-old, a
Oh my
10-year-old, they could
goodness.
all.
Oh my goodness. No way you just
So are you condemning your own what?
uh,
To a
they just
9-year-old?
say a
Can a 9-year-old
6-year-old.
not? Can a 9-year-old not handle a man? Can a 9-year-old handle a man?
As of the day today, at this age of and this time, right? Most likely not.
Is it possible for a 9-year-old too?
Very, 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 very rare
So
scenario.
so it's possible. So it's possible. So
Yes, a very, very
what are
rare
you disagreeing
scenario.
with? What are you disagreeing with?
What do you mean? What am I disagreeing? What are you
I'm saying under
disagreeing with?
Islam, I'm saying Islamically, there's exceptions. Even today, you can bang a 9-year-old. Do you concede to that? You can marry and bang a 9-year-old today in Islam.
Why are you
But it's
using
a
the
very
word
rare
ban?
case. But it's a very rare case though. But you
It
can. There is
depends,
an
though. It
exception.
depends.
So is
It
there an
depends.
exception?
It depends. Yes, there
So
is an
you can.
exception.
So there is an exception to bang a 9-year-old in modern day Islam.
Okay, wait. What is
I
this
want you to say
9-year-old? Do
it.
you,
Say
do you
it.
find that
Say it.
9-year-old as a child?
Say it. Say it.
What do you find that
Yes,
9-year-old as a
I
child?
would. I would consider any 9-year-old. All 9-year-olds on this planet are children. But the very issue is that Islam doesn't see them that way because a super self-aware 9-year-old could get banged.
Okay.
That's my issue.
Now I'm gonna ask you, why do you find them as a child?
No, answer my question.
No,
No,
no.
don't
Answer my
don't
question.
answer.
Why do you find them
No,
as a
you.
child?
I asked the question first.
No, no,
I
no,
want
no.
my
Now you're
answer.
forcing
I've
me
been
to answer a
answering your
question. You're
question.
forcing me to answer a question without explaining myself.
No,
Okay?
because like
I'm gonna
my
explain
opinion, no,
the
my
answer.
opinion on what a child is irrelevant to whether you think that a 9-year-old it is possible for a 9-year-old to get banged under Islamic law today in
Give me one
2026.
second. Let me
My
open my
opinion's
logical
irrelevant.
fallacies folder. I
My
need to see
opinion's
which
irrelevant.
logical fallacy this is. Give me one second. Okay. Okay. Notes. Okay, one second. Let me see which logical fallacy you're doing, Okay. Loading. It's loading. What the? Someone
I'm
opening my
asking you
notes.
a simple question. Can a
Oh,
9-year-old
yeah, yeah.
today
One
make
second. One
make those
second. Let me see
statements?
which. Wait, one second. One second. One second. One second. One second. One second. Let's see. I just want to see what logical fallacy you're doing right now. Let's see.
I'm asking you a
Let's see.
question.
No, no. Let's see. Let's see. Okay, distorting a point. No.
I'm not
Attacking a
just
person.
it's not a straw
No.
man, it's not an ad hom, it's not an ad hominem.
Presenting false
No, it's not a false dichotomy. It's not a false
dichotomy.
extrapolate,
You're
and
ignoring.
correlate that to my
You're
argument.
forcing
Correlate
me.
it.
Firstly, you're
Correlate it.
forcing me. You're forcing me. You're narrowing down
No, I'm not.
any
I'm
other
asking you a yes
answer.
or no question.
Yes, you
I'm
are.
asking you
Yes, you are.
under Islamic law,
Boom! You
is
just
it
said I'm
possible for
asking you a yes or no question. That's literally a false dichotomy, you
No, it's not.
genius.
That is not a false dichotomy.
Yes,
Extrapolate it.
yes,
Extrapolate it.
it is. You're saying, oh,
Extrapolate
it's
it.
only yes
Extrapolate it.
or no.
Extrapolate it to my argument. Extrapolate it to my argument.
What do you mean
Extrapolate it to my
extrapolate?
argument.
What do you mean by that?
Extrapolate. Correlate the fallacy to my argument. Explain
Okay,
using my
beautiful.
argument how it's a false
You said it's
dichotomy.
only a yes or no and a question. I'm asking you. I'm saying no.
No,
I can
that's
answer it
not
in a
that.
full
That's not correlating. That's not
answer. And
correlating.
and what does it say here? Let's read the definition. Presenting two
I
options
didn't present two
while
options. I
ignoring
didn't present two
others
options.
to narrow the argument in one's favor. MashaAllah. MashaAllah. Now,
Correlate that to
and
my
how many
argument. Correlate that
how many
to my
answers do I
argument.
have? I have
I'm
yes,
asking you to
and I have
correlate that to
no.
my
I'm correlating
correlate that
to.
to and a child under Islamic law have sex with a 9-year-old.
Okay, do you want me to answer it?
Yes.
And it's not a yes or no question, right? It's not just two options,
It
right?
doesn't have to be yes or no. You can give an answer.
Beautiful, beautiful. Islam does allow it in a very rare scenario.
Okay, that's my issue. That's my issue. Like, why is there
Mm-hmm.
an exception to have sex with a 9-year-old? Like, why do you
Okay,
even need to
beautiful.
have sex with a 9-year-old? That's like, why? Is it because it's
What do you
sunnah?
mean why?
That's
It's
not.
not sunnah.
Why is there an exception?
Okay, let me explain. Are you gonna let me explain?
Yes.
Okay. Now, firstly, in Islam, like I said earlier, they need to handle a man. An adult can handle a man. They need to be mentally mature. An adult is
Okay, but
mentally mature. They need to be
I'll
physically.
stop you
Are you
there.
gonna
I'll
let me?
stop you
Are you
there.
gonna let me?
This is an
Are you gonna let me
equivocation
finish?
fallacy.
Are you gonna let
This
me
no, because
finish?
you already started off with an
No,
equivocation fallacy. You're
no.
saying an adult does this,
Mhm.
so if doing this means that you're an adult. An adult also has a job. Does that mean that a child who
I
has a
never
job
said they
is
are
an
an
adult?
adult. I said they are literally. Okay, wait. I have a question right now. I have a question right now. Why? Okay, by the way, I'm not agreeing with this, but why is entering a child wrong?
What?
And you
Why
say your
entering a
answer, and I'll
child?
say my answer. Go ahead.
Because no child, no 9-year-old person, no 9-year-old
Mm-hmm.
human being has the
Mm-hmm.
cognitive ability to
Mm-hmm.
understand the long-term ramifications of this.
Okay. Now let me state my answer. How about that? Hello? Hello? Bam bam baram. قالوا له خالفت أقوال الشيوخ ولم يبالوا الخلف للقرآن خالفت أقوال الشيوخ